Coming up next on this episode of the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast, we will be looking back at week 2 of the National Football League, including an ugly Redskins loss to the Indianapolis Colts, a record-setting day for Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs, and a tie in Green Bay against the Minnesota Vikings. All that and much, much more coming up next on the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast.
This is Jonah Pearson, and you are listening to the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast.
That is right. An ugly loss in Washington, week 2 for their home opener. We're going to get right into that, folks. Welcome to episode 4 of the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast. If you want to email me, kirbyonsports@gmail.com, my Twitter, Kirby on Sports, and my Facebook, Kirby on Sports podcast. And I'm just not going to take any time just to, what's the word, darn it, like procrastinate. We're just going to get down to the nitty gritty and talk about why the Redskins did so bad, how they did so bad. First off, they got out-coached on both sides of the football. And I watched most of that game. Oh, my gosh, it was terrible. Alex Smith, he couldn't throw for a touchdown. He didn't throw an interception, thank God. But he didn't throw any touchdowns, got 292 yards passing, 33 for 46. No, I'm not sure about that, but let me tell you, our rushing game looked nothing like it did week 1 in Arizona. Peterson and Thompson combined 15 for 21 yards. 21 yards. If you want to take a look at last week, I will just compare it. Peterson, 26 for 96 yards, in Thompson, 5 for 65 yards. And this week, they only have 15 for 21 yards combined. That just goes to say a lot. And I just believe that the Redskins could have played a lot better. I believe they got out-coached on both sides of the football, and they just did not come in with the mindset that we need to play physical and aggressive like they did week 1. Probably because Arizona sucks. So I guess Indianapolis was just an underlooked team for the Redskins, in my opinion, and they lost. Receiving for the Redskins, Thompson, 13 catches, 92 yards. Richardson, 4 catches, 63 yards. So not a terrible day receiving, but still, we could not make anything happen. The final score, 21-9, 3 touchdowns as compared to 3 field goals. So, the Redskins just couldn't get anything done. It's that simple. And we hold on here. I lost something. Yeah, we didn't have any turnovers. Yeah, and we just couldn't get it done. We actually, for the Redskins, DJ Swearinger had 2 interceptions. That was good. I was really impressed by his performance, but still couldn't get it done. Andrew Luck, 21 for 31, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, both from DJ Swearinger. On the ground, Jordan Wilkins, 10 for 61 yards. Marlon Mack, 10 for 34 yards, so not a terrible day. But T.Y. Hilton, their top wide receiver, 7 for 83 yards. Got to contain that. The Redskins defense was letting a lot of stuff go by. I do like what DJ Swearinger had, but still, the Redskins had a lot of missed opportunities, but hopefully that will change week 3 against Green Bay and the limping Aaron Rodgers, who will be a first-ballot Hall of Famer. And I will still make the argument that he is better than Tom Brady. So pretty much, Redskins 1-1, disappoint their fans at home, and I just cannot believe that happened. I thought that the Colts weren't that good. Andrew Luck, it was only his second game back. So I'm not really sure, but looking at the stats here, there's not a lot. Like Jordan Reed, he had a good day. Doxson, 4 catches for 37 yards. That's sort of rare. And Peterson, 3 catches, 30 yards out of the backfield. Vernon Davis, only 7 yards. Crowder, only 8 yards. So, not a lot. But what the Redskins need to fix is basically they need to get the ground game moving. Like, as I said earlier, 15 for 21 yards combined between Adrian Peterson and Chris Thompson. That's not going to get it done if you want to win a ball game. Last week, they combined almost 130 yards or something like that. And this week, only 21 yards. You got to get the ground game moving, and you can't let some deep passes from the defense go or anything like that. Defense has to step up. I mean, they've been playing decent, and I don't know. But Alex Smith, he didn't throw an interception. He didn't throw a touchdown. I mean, from what I saw, he just looked like he didn't really know what was going on. But at least he didn't turn the ball over, because that would have put the confidence way down. But once again, 33 for 46, 292 yards for Alex Smith on the day. So next week, the Redskins host the Green Bay Packers. And segue right into my next topic about the Week 2, the second tie of the NFL season, which is crazy by far. But anyways, Aaron Rodgers most likely is going to play with a knee injury still, because that's Aaron Rodgers. He is the greatest of all time. And I don't know. Last time the Packers came to Washington, the Redskins put on a show and beat the Packers on Sunday night. Can this be the case this week? I'm not sure, but the Redskins and the Packers. Looking at the injury report really quick. Oh, yes, I forgot to add that too. Rob Kelly is on injured reserve with a toe injury, and the Redskins picked up 2 veteran wide receivers, Rashad Perryman from the Ravens and Michael Floyd from the Vikings, which I do like those pickups. We did need a few more receivers out there because Trey Quinn, he's injured, and we have Paul Richardson and, Paul Richardson, and Jordan Reed, Doxson, sort of all right receivers, but we needed depth in the back for the receivers, and I do like those pickups, 2 veterans, and hopefully they can get it done. Either backup roles. I believe they will be going into backup roles. But going back to it, the injuries for this week, Trent Williams with a knee injury. Paul Richardson played last week with the shoulder injury. I expect him to probably be in there against Green Bay. And Morgan Moses with a knee injury. Zach Brown with an oblique injury, and Troy Apke with a hamstring injury. So not that many injuries, but still. And one more, Sean Laval. And so report on the news that if Sean Laval isn't gonna start on Sunday, then the O-line will get shuffled around, which I don't know how that's gonna be. The O-line is just the O-line is struggling a little bit, and I just think that's going to cause more problems for Alex Smith scrambling out of the pocket and whatnot, and that's just not going to be good. But week 3, Redskins and Packers, a 1 o'clock game, and hopefully the Redskins can change some stuff so they can beat the Packers like they did before, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. But moving on here from the Redskins, and we're going to go straight into the Week 2 tie, the rivalry game, the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. And boy, let me tell you, Kirk Cousins is on fire. I'm loving his performance. His stat line here, 35 for 48, 425 yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. That is exceptional. Kirk Cousins, I think he might make it to the Pro Bowl this year. I'm telling you, with that performance, he's probably going to get in the Pro Bowl. That he's just doing a great job, and he is so athletic out there. And watching those highlights, seeing some of the throws he made, wow, that is crazy. But Kirk Cousins, 425 yards as compared to Aaron Rodgers, 30 for 42 for only 281 yards and 1 touchdown. Granted, Aaron Rodgers is playing with a bad knee. He injured week 1 against the Bears. As you know, he came back, won the game. But anyways, that's a 29-29 tie. Second tie in the second week of the season after a week 1 tie, the Steelers and the Browns. So that's interesting. I can't believe there have been 2 ties already this season. But Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs stepping up big. 131 yards for Thielen and 128 yards for Diggs. They're playing great. Kirk Cousins has a lot of weapons in the Vikings receiving core, and that's why I think Kirk Cousins is playing so well. Alrighty. Moving on to a rookie. No, excuse me, not a rookie quarterback, but his first year starting for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. And let me just say, wow. The Chiefs have confidence in Patrick Mahomes to get things done after the Chiefs traded Alex Smith to Washington, obviously. But 23 for 28, 326 yards, and 6 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns. That's a record. And I got to say, wow, the Chiefs. Man, Patrick Mahomes is filling in Alex Smith's shoes just fine. The Chiefs are looking great, and if they can keep that up, they're looking at probably close to an AFC championship game. I still think the Jags will beat them to it. I'm going to stick with my bold prediction, Vikings-Jags in the Super Bowl, but I do think it can be the Jags and the Chiefs in the AFC's championship game. But they're doing an amazing job. And look at the Steelers here. Like, Le'Veon Bell still hasn't showed up. He's holding out. Excuse me. And Antonio Brown, what about him? That tweet a reporter said, like, how good he is only with Pittsburgh. And then he quoted it and said, trade me and let's find out. So, yeah, he hasn't showed up, but apparently he has returned. So there's a lot of drama in the Steelers locker room, and I think that's just translating onto the field and with their losses. Like, Big Ben had a good day, 452 yards, 3 touchdowns. James Conner only 17 yards. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, they just can't get it done, and I think it's because of that drama off the field for the Steelers. 42-37, that is the final in that game. And Excuse me. Let's look back. How about the Jaguars? 31-20 over the New England Patriots. An impressive day for Blake Bortles, 29 for 45, 377 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception, as compared to Tom Brady's 234 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Jags wanted this win really badly after last year losing in the AFC Championship game in the final 3 minutes of the game, but wow, that's impressive. TJ Yeldon on the ground, 10 for 58 yards. Blake Bortles had 35 yards on the ground. Who else? Sort of a good day for the receivers. Keelan Cole, 7 for 116 yards and a touchdown. And D.D. Westbrook, 4 for 83 and a touchdown. Dante Moncrief, 4 for 34 and a touchdown. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, 3 for 23 and a touchdown. So, pretty much a different receiver for every touchdown, which is pretty good. And for the Patriots, Chris Hogan, 3 for 42 and 2 touchdowns. Only 2 touchdowns in the game. And no rushing touchdowns for the Patriots. So, wow. I just got to say, how about them Jags getting it done? Patriots 1-1. And Tom Brady didn't look too happy on those sidelines afterwards. But, it is what it is. A shootout in San Francisco as the Niners beat the Lions, and the Lions fall 0-2. Matthew Stafford managed to get 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Jimmy Garoppolo, 18 for 26, 206 yards and 2 touchdowns. That ain't bad. Matt Breida had a touchdown on the ground, and Garrett Selleck had a touchdown in the air along with Kendrick Bourne. So, pretty good game. It was a shootout, but the Lions, I'm not sure about them. Matthew Stafford, he's just, I don't know. 347 yards with 3 touchdowns, better than he did last week against the Jets, but something has to change with this Lions offense. I don't know what, but they just got to get it changed somehow, some way. Like Golden Tate receiving, he looked all right, 7 for 109 yards. Kenny Golladay, 6 for 89 yards. Marvin Jones, 4 for 54 yards. So, pretty good receiving. Rushing for the Lions, Kerryon Johnson, 8 for 43 yards. LeGarrette Blount, 8 for 38 yards. So, not that good. I would expect them to get, at least 100 combined. So, other than that is how the game ended. 30-27 final. The Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants. Giants still aren't looking good. Eli Manning just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. Only 1 touchdown, 279 yards. Dak Prescott only had 160 yards and 1 touchdown. A beautiful touchdown to get the game going against, who was it? No, for the receiving touchdown was Tavon Austin. He stepped up huge in the absence of Dez Bryant, who got cut, and not really a big receiving core, or the receivers and tight end Jason Witten's gone. So the Cowboys are looking nice for losing 2 good guys, Dez Bryant and Jason Witten. But Other than that, the Giants just aren't looking good, and the Cowboys got it done on Sunday night. And man, let me just say, we are in a three-way tie for first place in the NFC East, and the Giants are, lo and behold, 0-2 in last place. Let's talk about another upset in the NFL. How about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going 0-2 and beating the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles? Boy, let me just say, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that one bit. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 402 yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Nick Foles, 334 yards, only 1 touchdown. Wow. Ryan Fitzpatrick is filling in greatly for Jameis Winston. And in my opinion, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick should be the new starter in Tampa Bay, hands down. I think they should get rid of Jameis Winston, have no part of Jameis Winston. He just gets into trouble too much, and that's why they are not. I hope that's the case. But if they bring Jameis Winston back, I don't think the Bucs are going to be doing so well when they sit Ryan Fitzpatrick. Other scores in the league: Atlanta over Carolina, 31-24. New Orleans over Cleveland, 21-18. And let's just see this stat line for the Browns kicker, Zane Gonzalez, 2 for 4. And extra points, 0 for 2. That's just terrible kicking. And the Browns should be ashamed that they didn't pick up Dan Bailey when they did. Because the Vikings, another reason why the Vikings tied is because their field goal kicker missed field goals. But the Vikings picked up Dan Bailey, which Dan Bailey should have been picked up a lot sooner. I don't know why the Cowboys got rid of him, but he's with the Vikings now. And a Monday night matchup, the Bears and the Seahawks. Khalil Mack is worth everything to the Bears. Khalil Mack did amazing that game. Just looking at his stuff, 4 tackles, 1 assist, and a forced fumble in that game. I will tell you, that is an amazing stat line, and the Bears are looking good. And the Seahawks, on the other hand, 0-2 this season. I think the Seahawks are in a rebuilding year, and I just don't know what they can do, but their defense, let's see, like the Legion of Boom, I mean, it's dissolved pretty much. Michael Kendricks from Cleveland, who might be going to jail for insider trading. The Seahawks picked him up. 3 tackles for him. Bradley McDougald, 8 tackles for him. So, I mean, defense, not that impressive, but what I can say is impressive about the defense is Shaquille Griffin with 2 interceptions off of Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky with an additional 2 touchdowns with 200 yards passing on the day. And Russell Wilson, 226 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. So, Bears win it at home 24-17 on Monday night. And other scores I missed will Los Angeles Chargers, Buffalo Bills, 31-20. Miami 20, New York Jets 12, Tennessee 20, Houston 17. And the Thursday night matchup, I forgot to mention AJ Green's on my fantasy team, and boy did he go off. Him and Alex Collins. But Cincinnati improves to 2-0 after beating the Ravens 34-23. And that is week 2 for you. Looking at week 3, Thursday night football, the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. And on Sunday, the Washington Redskins hosting the Green Bay Packers. Oakland playing Miami. The Titans playing the Jaguars. The Broncos playing the Ravens. The 49ers playing the Chiefs. Buffalo playing Minnesota, and I'm going to guess that Kirk Cousins is going to have another 400-yard passing day. Indianapolis and Philadelphia, New Orleans and Atlanta, Cincinnati and Carolina, New York Giants and the Texans, Los Angeles Chargers and the Los Angeles Rams, Dallas and Seattle, Chicago and Arizona, New England, Detroit, and for Monday night, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's week 3, and I will get to that in the week 3 recap on the next episode of the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast. But pretty much, week 2, the Washington Redskins lose it 21-9. And hopefully they can bounce back week 3 against the Packers. So that wraps up the podcast today, folks. I hope you all enjoyed. Sorry if I had sort of a cough. The allergy season is booming right now. But pretty much that is it for this episode of the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast. I appreciate you all tuning in, and make sure you all follow my social media pages. Email me, kirbyonsports@gmail.com. Twitter, Kirby on Sports. And Facebook, Kirby on Sports Podcast. Or the Josh Kirby on Sports Podcast. I forget, but I'll link that all below on the podcast and whatnot. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, Josh Kirby saying we'll see you next time. Have a good day.